Hello, my name is Darren Thomas. I am the Director of Educational Research Techniques. In this video, we're going to learn one way of many ways that you can subset data inside R. So as you can see, I'm already inside R, and the secret to subsetting that we're going to learn today is the power of using brackets. And so brackets are, if you look on an English keyboard next to the letter P, you'll have the left bracket and of course the right bracket. If you press the left bracket, R will automatically make the right bracket. And so when you use bracket notation, it allows you to access information inside a data set, or a better term, a data frame. So for example, here is my bracket. You always have to put things in terms of notation with a comma. So whatever you put on to the left of the comma represents what we call rows in the data set. And whatever you put to the right of the comma represents columns. So let me see if I can give you an example to make this clear. I'm going to jump into the iris data set and I'm going to use bracket notation. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to put 1, 1. And what's going to happen is this. I'm going to get the first row and I'm going to get the information from the first variable or the first column in that particular data frame iris. And you can see I get 5.1. Now, this doesn't make a lot of sense by itself, so let me see if I can do it again, but I'm going to make it a little bit more complicated. This time, I'm going to, again, look at the first row, but then I'm going to look at 2 columns. And to do that, you use the concatenate function, like always, and put 1, 2, like so, inside that. And now I have the first row and I have the first 2 variables. Notice how this time, R will give me the name of both variables. So whenever you do more than one variable or more than one column, if you will get the name of the columns along with the row. So that is one of many things that you can do. Another example is, let's say I just want to see the first 5 rows. So I go to iris, again, that's the data frame I'm using for this example. I do 1, and then I do a colon, 5, and then put a comma after it. And voila, I get the first 5 rows and all of the variables. So this is important. If you leave something blank, for example, if you leave the row section blank, you get all the rows. If you leave the column section blank, you get all the columns. And so because I didn't put any number after the comma, I get all of the variables that are available in the data set with also the first 5 rows. That's the beauty of it. Sometimes you might also want to exclude, or in other words, you want to tell R, give me everything but this. Now, in order to do that, you must put a negative sign in front of the information that you want to have excluded. Let me see if I can give you an example. So I'm using iris again, put my brackets, and this time I'm going to put a negative outside, and then inside parentheses, I'm going to put 1 to 147. Now, there's something I need to mention here. The iris data set has 150 rows. And so essentially what I'm telling R right now is that I want everything except rows 1 to 147. Now, if I put the comma, remember, if I don't put a number after the comma, I get all of the variables in the data set. So let me make sure that this is clear. I am telling R, give me everything but rows 100 to 147, and please give me all of the columns, or give me all of the variables. So you can see here, I got rows 148, 149, and 150 because that's everything that was not excluded. I excluded rows 100 to 147. And also, since I did not put a number after the comma, I got all of the variables. If I only want 2 variables, maybe if I want 3 of the variables, let me do that. I'll put C1, 3, and this time I only got 3 variables. 3 variables and the last 3 rows of the data set because that is what I requested. So you can see here that there's a lot of variability in how you can access the information inside a data frame. Now, sometimes we don't know what number a variable is or what number a column is. Maybe we know the name of the column or we know the name of the variable, but we don't know exactly what order number it is, because when R looks for the column, it counts from left to right based on whatever order the information was put into the data set. And so maybe you don't know. Now, let's say I want to access a specific variable, but I don't know the location by number. I know the name of it. To do this, we go back to our iris data set. We put a comma here. Now, I need to explain something. Remember, if I put a comma here and I don't put any information to the left, I will get all of the rows. Now, this, I put a concatenate function here, and now I need to put inside the parentheses the name of the variable or variables that I'm looking for. So hopefully I typed this without making a typo. I'm looking for a sepal length. Notice how I use quotation marks. Then I put a comma after that, and we'll do sepal.width. Those two. Now, if this is done correctly, this is what's going to happen when I press enter. I'm going to get all 150 rows, but I'm going to get two variables. You can see it moves at the blink of an eye. Let's go back up to the top, make sure this is correct. I should have the two variables, sepal.length and sepal.width. Right here at the top, getting closer. And so you can see this is correct. Sepal.length and sepal.width are the two variables that I got, and I got all 150 rows. And so by extension, let's say I only want the first 10 rows. I think you probably know what to do now. I put a 1:10, and now I press enter, and now this time I get the same two variables again, but I only get 10 rows. So that's the power of one of many ways to subset data in R. So in this video, we looked at several different ways that you can subset or extract data from a data frame inside R. I showed you the power of the brackets, how you can use the notation with the commas to pull specific rows, specific variables or columns, if you will. And I also showed you how to exclude information, like information you don't want, by using the negative sign. I also showed you how, if you don't know the location in terms of the numerical location of a column, how you can use the name of the column or the name of the variable to locate that information inside R. So we hope that this was useful for you, and we thank you for listening. Take care.